Good morning.
Good morning. All right.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
But it's Wednesday morning, so happy to join us with Digital Dealer.
Yes, this is super cute.
This is a really cute, and it's going to be pretty easy, which is always fun. It's nice to be able to have a no-stress project.
It is.
I like no stress.
No stress is really good.
Stress is good.
Yes, absolutely.
So, we're going to be doing the Father's Day card wallet, and we are going to be using blue leather. Pretty much any leather will work.
Yeah.
So, if you purchased our kit, you basically got a whole roll.
I think we did camel color because it was the new
camel,
color.
because it was one of the new ones there. So that is a nice amount as you can play, but any color will work. So we had a scrap of navy, so that's what I used rather than open up another roll. So
yeah, we have lots of colors. There's black, that dark green, camel, the teal color, red, pink. We have gold and silver, right?
Yep, white.
White.
And is that it?
I think so.
Oh, rose gold.
Rose gold, yes. So.
Oh, and the shiny green.
Shiny green.
I don't remember what that's called.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on that one, but.
Yeah. Seafoam or something?
Seafoam, yeah, something like that. So lots of color options if you're using Kimberbell, which of course you could use other materials as well if you chose to.
Absolutely.
I would definitely recommend making sure that the back is cloth so that your cards will slide smoothly. You don't want anything vinyl type that's going to stick to the credit card or whatever type of item that you're sliding in. Definitely a cloth back. So
yes.
Outside of that, I think you can use lots of the different fabrics and things in there.
And this is done in a two-part.
2 parts, yes. So part 1 is pretty straightforward. We're going to decorate the pocket. So we actually get 2 different designs. One is a cute little fishing waves with little fish tails popping out of a couple waves. And one is the plaid. So we're going to stitch the plaid and we're going to get started. So super simple, a single layer of wash away the mesh.
Yes. And do we have a topper?
I have topper.
Okay.
I have a whole roll of topper.
Perfect.
So I didn't cut anything separate. I just had, because I knew the roll was over here. So I was a little lazy, I guess, when I was prepping because I knew this was sitting over here. So we've got our instructions, though. There's not a whole lot to any of that. We're going to basically get, it doesn't really matter what we use, I guess.
What do we want for our first color? We're doing, are we doing those 3 shades in the plaid?
Yes, we're going to, these are our colors.
This was on the machine. This was the other one that you had over there.
Okay.
That's the one I ran a bobbin with.
Gotcha. So this is the 4 colors that I pulled out for.
Okay. So we'll just start with this one.
That sounds
This is,
perfect.
We have a couple Florianis and 1 exquisite. So this is Floriani color number PF354. It's blue, because we're doing blue. Though I think these colors would look good on anything, really, even the camel color. Good morning, Miss Kathy. So we're just going to do a basting frame here. I am threading the machine. We have plain white bobbin thread in. We will need some colored bobbin at some point when we get towards the end and the second stitching. So. All right, we're just going to press go here. Oh, we miss you too, Kathy. Probably a little brisk this morning. This weird weather, up and down.
It is. Making all those aches and pains known, isn't it?
Right?
So.
All right.
All right, so these are pockets. So, right?
Yep.
Yes, so we are going to take one of our smaller pieces of the sizes that it tells you to cut and cover that up. And
you could tape this if you want.
I'm sure you're going to be shocked to hear
what
we're going to do. Well, I can tape this if you want to tape. And then we're going to cover that with our topper. And we can tape that so people can see. It's just to keep it from shifting and keep everything in place.
I think you just taped the corner. There we go. Tape the thread down
Tape the
too.
thread down? Well, I couldn't see it.
All right.
So we're going to start with the tack down and then leave that same color in for your first stitch of the plaid. Probably those two more than this one for color.
Yeah. This will be a really quick project.
It should. Yeah, see, it just said 4, so I pulled 4.
That's fair. All right, and we're going to start the plaid with the same color.
So basically, we're decorating one of the pockets, the front pocket, before we build the wallet, which is part 1, is making the front pocket. So total of 5 minutes of stitch time on this one.
You can't really see anything on the screen with the
with that water soluble. It is definitely
there.
You can see a little bit better. Jinx. And with this water soluble, of course, the Kimberbell leather is all machine washable, so it's not a problem to get it wet. One more piece going the other direction there, and then we can change color.
Okay, now we're going to put a pretty green down. This is a Floriani PF 253.
Got another one of my tiles done last night for
job.
my tiling scene.
Yeah, it's a big project.
Yeah, that one was a 2-hour stitch, so, you know, I didn't get multiples done last night, just one. So this is
It's a nice color with it.
beautiful color on there, and it's got a little different stitch. Hi, Mom. So this has got a wider stitch length and a double run next to itself. So it varies your plaid, so it's not just the same old, same old.
Yeah.
Nice. I think we're going to want to go dark, or do you think we should go light?
We could go either or. We could go something completely different and do like an orange in there.
I don't care. You pick. This seems longer than the last minute.
Any idea what color this is?
think it's 112.
112?
I think. There's a dime book on the corner of my desk over there underneath all that crud. We could peek if we wanted to.
Okay.
Am I wrapped around something? There it goes.
There you go. All right, so now we're putting in a silver color, ES 112.
We think.
And this is going to make the last part of the plaid for our pocket. Goodness. And then we'll take this out of the hoop and we will re-hoop wash away again, right?
We will. Yep.
Gail is asking, what design are you making? This is the June Kimberbell digital dealer, and it is a wallet or a card holder.
Yep.
They're calling it a Father's Day card wallet. It has 2 different front covers. We have a plaid one, and then we have one that kind of looks like an ocean, like fishes and waves.
Here's the other one. And this is what this one will look like when we're finished.
We just picked blue leather instead of
the camel. Because that's what we had open. For no reason other than that.
Yeah, that's a nice choice.
I am partial to blue. All right, when this is done, we're going to remove the tape and tear away the excess topping. And then we're going to trim the top edge only. After we trim the stabilizer away, of course. 1/4 inch from the tack down line. Okay.
One more row here. Good morning, good morning.
That color looks good.
Yeah.
Nice little pop. All right. So we are going to, I got to move this. I have nowhere to put my leg. All right. We are going to pop this guy out. And I've got another piece here ready to go to put in. And make sure that is as tight as we can get it. I'm going to send that over there out of the way. And the first thing we're going to do is tear towards your outline stitch there so that we only have topping in the plaid section, so there's nothing around the outside edge. And get rid of that. And then whichever one was the top, which I don't think that it really matters, we are going to trim 1/4 inch away. Let's see. The angles were going this way with that white. So that's the top. See, I can figure these things out even in the morning. All right, so we are going to
Of course, you could use your rotary cutter if you wanted to.
Yep.
She's just going to get rid of some of that excess stabilizer.
And we just need to remove around, because this is going to be placed into the hoop. So we just don't want...
Right. If you're making
that.
this wallet or card holder for yourself, you're probably going to want to do this. Then go take this to the sink and rinse out a little bit of this because it'll be a little easier.
So it does say dissolve. So if we were doing this at home, we would want that with no water soluble anywhere.
Yep.
Movie magic, you don't see that. Poof.
Poof. Yeah.
All right, but so what we have now are our front and our back, our other pocket, and then this is the decorative pocket. So we now have the same number of pieces, we just have decorated the one. So now we're gonna move to part 2. We've got our hooping, we're gonna go back to the machine and start the stitching for that. So we have changed the design in the machine, of course, to the actual card wallet piece.
It doesn't matter what color I have in at this point because it's just my it's just my placement line, right?
Believe
Then
that,
I can change to the blue.
I believe that's
'Kay.
correct. Yes, this is just going to be where we're going to put a backing piece.
All right.
Yeah.
And we don't need to worry about our bobbin yet. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right.
Until that, there's the bobbin
'Kay.
and the stitch wallet outline is the only one that we need to worry about.
All right.
So the very final stitch, we're going to worry about that.
Okay. So there's your placement spot.
All right, so one of the larger pieces now, it does give you 2 different size measurements. And we're going to tack that down. You can, of course, tape that in place following the directions if you want to follow the directions.
And water soluble topper is not necessary for this because we're not
We're
doing
not
any
decorative
decorative
stitches.
stitches.
This is just,
You're just making a giant loop every time today. So I changed to that blue color again because we will see a little bit of this stitching.
okay, so the next stitch is same color is great. We don't need to change anything. It's going to be our decorated.
Decorated.
You know those decorated ones, right? The decorated pocket is going to go on top. So the undecorated one is going to go right where this says to put it.
Words are hard.
Wow. Okay.
That was decorative and tape all together.
Something like that. I'm not really sure what that was, but holy crow. All right, so we are going to line that up, and I am going to tape this because we don't want the needle to push and unalign. Slide that back just a hair so I can make sure that and we don't want to see those. So I'm going to go right on top of that, and I'm going to tape that right there so that it doesn't shift. And I am going to just hold the bottom. I'm not going to tape the sides. I'm just going to keep it from...
You're a rebel?
I'm a rebel. I am going to keep it from rotating. That way versus adding a whole bunch of more tape that might somehow get in my stitch line that I have to deal with, and I don't want to.
Okay.
Wait, nope. It's going to do a card stop.
Okay. I was thinking I had to push the button again for it.
I get that. So I know we didn't clean the stabilizer off the back, but I'm going to at least clean up the jump stitch tail ends because it'll be a lot harder to do that later, and I don't want them poking out. That's a little pet peeve I got. I'm sure I can't be the only one.
You could also put a little bit of fray check
on those
pieces once you've rinsed that out. That will help prevent any unraveling from putting your cards in and out.
Absolutely. All right, so we are going to go ahead and stitch step number 5, which is going to tell me where to put this little guy. Do.
We are almost done.
We are almost done. Half an hour is pretty close.
Right? Quickest Kimberbell project ever.
Sorry, didn't mean to block the shot there. Yeah, this may be first place for absolutely the quickest thing we've ever done. Of course, at home you will have a rinse in there that we are skipping, but
stitch time.
Stitch times. All right, so we are going to scooch that up and over and balance your side stitch lines as much as possible so that you don't have, an uneven decorated stitch.
Decorated stitch.
I like that word. I might continue to use that. That was a fun one. Should send that into
Webster's.
add that one in. I like that one. All right. Does that look balanced to you?
Looks balanced here. Yeah.
I think we're pretty good. Good enough for who it's for anyway. Even if it's my dad. All right, so stitch number 6 is going to grab hold of that. That was pretty close. All right. Okay, now we need to take that out of the hoop, and we're going to place our leather on the back of the hoop, and then we will do another stitch. While I am doing that, Sarah is over at the machine changing out the bobbin because we only have the last stitch left, and that is going to be that final stitch. So just like I did before, I don't want all of these threads poking out on the sides or anything either, so I am going to trim up anything that might poke out of that final stitch as much as possible. I think we're going to need to open some snips.
Yeah.
Or find some snips and get them over here. We don't have any snips here. I would use snips in case anybody's wondering what the heck I'm doing. It's because I don't have any snips. This is not the first choice of scissors for this, though. You can use a piece of tape to, grab hold of anything. Put your wool mat down so that you're not pressing on your project and dislodging anything in the hoop. Those really are nice.
They are.
I've never had that before, so I forget until I'm like pushing on things, and I'm like, I shouldn't be doing that. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, there's these really cool pads that fit perfectly inside of our hoops. And that's what I am putting in there. And it's so that I can't dislodge.
Pop it out of the...
And pop that or loosen so that none of my stitches are lining up or anything like that. All right, so I'm going to cover up that squaring stitch. And then I am going to tape my corners. As always, I do not want to just tape the centers because my corners can fold down as it's stitching, and I do not want that to happen. All right, so there we have the corners in place. I'm going to turn that back over, and I'm going to remove this tiny piece of tape because that's not going to do me much good. But what I do want to cover up is the, does it have me going all the way across? Yep, all the way through the stitch line. So that's probably not going to work either. I need to go all the way across my leather edges here so that my foot does not get caught in the edge, the raw edge of the pockets. So make sure that you are covering up both pocket edges and that you're going over that stitch line. I suppose technically you could do just the sides. Somebody might be thinking that at home. But unless you know exactly where your foot is going to go through the entire thing, dragging across the center, it's always better to go all the way through.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to think you're all good.
Right.
And then the final...
Especially if your machine ends at the center.
If it ends at the center, that final piece could drag it across that and pull, and then oops. And that's no fun.
Right.
So, so here we are. And again, we do have a matching bobbin. So this is the final stitch.
Foot looks like it's really high up. Not when you get to here, but at the other point.
Maybe it is.
It's like...
You're not wrong.
And that's it.
So from here, we are just going to pop that right out of the hoop, and you can apply fray check if you would like to at the edges. I probably won't, because that's just me. But then we are going to unstick it from your hoop because my tape is definitely stuck. All right.
And just trim, right?
Yep, and they are recommending that you see, you need those snips. Start at the center and work your way around. And what we're going to be doing is pretty much trimming
Between the two lines?
I think so. I'm reading. Outside the wallet outline, starting at the top, middle, easing scissors around the corner, trim around the wallet as desired. Be sure to trim off the placement line. So anywhere inside this line, and obviously outside. So anywhere you want in between those lines. So, but they recommend that you come in and start at the center up here. Not sure why it makes any difference. I wonder if those bigger scissors would be better or worse. Flip, flip. And rock and roll as smooth as you can, because of course this is your finished edge. And these are, what I'm using at the moment are the Havel serrated. They're working very nicely. Just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to try these and see if that works better or worse. Lot easier. So there we have that. And goodness.
Probably easier to get off when we don't have the topper on, huh?
Yep, a little bit. There we go.
You could definitely trim this with a rotary cutter and a ruler. The difference is that you wouldn't probably get that nice rounded corner. It would be hard to take that sharp turn.
Yep, I think that's actually just my topper that didn't. So there we have,
It's very cute.
and there's, of course, a 2-pocket option there.
That's kind of great if you're just like going to the market or something and you want
You
to.
just need some little thing to throw in your pocket. You
Yeah.
want your ID and one or
Maybe
two
a
cards
little-
or something.
Yeah, or
Maybe
a little cash or something in
just
that one.
fold up a couple and let her go.
Yeah, or great grad gift. You could like put some money in there and give that as a gift.
Absolutely.
Be a great little
really
gift card
cute.
holder.
If they fish, the other one's great. You know, you could easily put in a different decorative design in that first one. So if you had like a quilting design and you wanted to make this for a young lady for a grad gift or something like that too. You know, we've got all of those quilting files. You could choose some of that
So
sparkly
many.
leather
Yeah.
instead and switch this up instead of for dad, for a young lady or for mom or whomever.
right.
Because again, you know, sometimes we don't want to carry a whole purse. We just need one little
little
something
bit.
to keep everything together. So
Right.
very cute and sharp. 2 pockets and a decorative. And of course, you wouldn't have that shiny. That would be solid leather in the front underneath there.
Yep.
You would have rinsed that at home. So there you go.
All right.
All right.
So that's it.
That's it.
Yes.
Very quick.
Lots of fun. Very quick project. Probably our quickest.
Quickest ever.
Ever.
Yes.
Yes.
I like quick.
Right. Yeah. And it's super cute.
It is.
Much cuter in person than I think.
Just a picture.
Just a picture of it.
Yeah, most definitely. Yep. And these scissors, definitely easier.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel any resistance at all on the back layer.
Yeah.
Where I was feeling a little bit of resistance. You know, how you can sometimes feel it
Exactly.
kind of curving under in the back. There was none when I switched to the big gun. The big
guns.
The big
Yep.
guns definitely had no pull at all. So there you go.
Stitches mess up when embroidering leather on my machine. I must be doing something wrong.
So it's
Different leathers also will perhaps play differently, but that
leather
topper
in
is
general
super
can be very
important.
difficult, which is where the topper comes into play on the decorative stitches. So without that topper, those decorative stitches would not be anywhere near as pretty. So you definitely want to have a topper on there, and you want to use water soluble, not the heat away, because of course we can't put an iron directly on. So unfortunately, it's going to disappear when we wash. It's not going to stay
Right.
up on top. But once they're created, they're good. So it doesn't matter from a longevity standpoint from there. So
And
the water-soluble topping makes all the difference in the world. And the
new
type
needle.
of stitch
Yeah, the type of
will
stitch.
also make a difference. Sometimes a different type of needle or even a smaller needle might make a difference. So you can play with your needles a little bit as well to see if you can get a better stitch.
Everything we were just talking about, it really, these are generic rules, so it doesn't necessarily have to do with your machine.
Nope.
Your 1700E should handle this with
Exactly
ease.
like what we did here.
But, you know, there are some things that you can do to alleviate some of those hassles. First of all, not all designs are created equal. You know, this design is made specifically for this type of stitch.
Right. So the choice of stitch is a good choice of stitch to go on leather. There are bad choices.
Right.
So all stitches shouldn't be put on leather.
Right, and not all leathers are created equal. So this one was, this leather doesn't have a ton of give to it. Some leathers are very stretchy in one direction or the other. So you do have to be mindful of that. We used a 7511 embroidery needle, but you may need to use a leather needle depending on the type of leather that you have and depending on the project. If you're doing this particular project with Kimberbell leather, the topper plus a regular embroidery needle should be just fine.
Sufficient. Yep.
Absolutely.
But, if you're just picking a random design, you may need to play with different types and sizes of needles to get a quality stitch or one that you're happy with.
Right.
Because they're not all designed. There are, what was that project that we did? It was that haunted house thing that was on a towel or something like that. And we tried toppers, we tried the stitches alone. It had a font in it, and we couldn't read it. It didn't matter what I did. It just wasn't coming out like we wanted it to. And so sometimes there are things that just aren't going to work. So it's not your machine. It is the stitch and the combination of all of the other things. It's not the machine itself. It's what's going on underneath the needle.
Yep.
So.
All right.
It's not you this time.
Not you.
It's really not you. And we're not going to say that it is. Absolutely not. So, absolutely. Leather can be a lot of fun, but you're not wrong. It can be frustrating when you're trying to make something that's not quite designed that way to work. So for sure. Absolutely. But this one is definitely going to work for sure.
All
so
right.
have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Because it's super easy.
Definitely.
So,
all right. That's
have a
all we
great
have
one,
today.
guys. Take care. Bye.